So I wanted to have a chat about subspace and topspace. So these are some kind of hot topics in the kink scene because, unfortunately there hasn't been proper scientific research into it, but it's something that is commonly reported and can be shown in other scientific kind of studies based on people's reaction to pain, stress response cycles and stuff like that. And then, kind of putting together what we know about pain, the way that the body reacts to pain and pleasure, and what we know about, people that have experienced BDSM play is that there is this common kind of two worlds, the subspace and topspace. Subspace being an altered state of consciousness that comes through surrender, devotion, and submission. And then topspace being this kind of flow state that can happen for the person that is being the top and giving the experience. What we actually are finding is that there's a lot of different types of subspace. So there isn't just one exact thing. There's three different kind of altered states of consciousness that both have very different effects. So the one that most people refer to is the subspace where you're in a deep parasympathetic nervous system kind of state where you kind of tune out of the outside world. Everything's very slow. You can often struggle to communicate. And it's this deep state of letting go where you're just kind of this blob. You're just following and leading. You're feeling very open, very surrendered. And it's very present and very blissful. Now, this is often kind of associated with things like opioids or, different kind of painkiller type highs where you're just, feeling really relaxed, like melted. Your kind of body feels liquidy. You've just sort of let go and surrendered. And it generally happens after an intense period of pain play or a really intense scene where you've really kind of got to your edge and then let go and surrendered. So when this happens, everything really slows down. You go deep into your body. It's been thought that this is actually similar to the freeze stress response, but then it's kind of done in a different way because it's not with the lack of safety trigger. So even though your body is going into this state that can be similar to the freeze stress response where your body, to stop itself from experiencing more pain, will go into this kind of different state where everything slows down. You get all these kind of endorphins and feel-good chemicals to stop the pain and to make you feel good. But then because you're actually not fearing for your safety or stress, then it has a bit of a different effect. So it's curious to find out if in the future they will do more deep studies of this. Also at a event that I was running before, we had a performance piece where they actually had a brain scanner on the rope model while there was tying happening, and they were saying that you could, see the different brainwave states that would be happening throughout a rope scene. And you can see how you kind of get into this theta hypnotic kind of trance-like state through play. So it's really beautiful that there are ways to kind of see what's going on there and to understand more about it. Though a lot of people that have had a lot of experience in play will be able to tell you themselves about this kind of state. There's also another kind of subspace, which is an adrenal state, which is usually more when the pain play is happening. So this, you'll usually be giggling, stomping, fighting off, like there's a lot of energy in your body while, there's pain play happening and these intense sensations. So this can be likened to like a cocaine kind of speedy high because there's a lot of adrenaline going in your body. There's, a lot of cortisol. It's more like a stress response cycle. But once again, it's something that's also mixed with the enjoying pleasure activated part of your brain. So it's these interesting kind of hacks between the stress response cycle mixed with the pleasure kind of activated cycles, which give a really interesting high for the body and a different state of consciousness. So this is when, like I'm a big giggler when it comes to pain play. Like if I'm getting spanked or candle wax, I'm usually giggling uncontrollably, which is often apparently something that is a response from the body to lower pain and to bring about a bit of movement and moving out this energy. Another type of subspace is one that's more based on the kind of dopamine and serotonin and bonding chemicals. So this isn't necessarily through pain play, but through submission and devotion. And this is, a really heart-opening, bonding kind of experience where you just feel like total devotion and surrender, and is more linked with MDMA and these kind of like ecstasy-like feelings where you're just so flooded with love and presence. And it's also a really beautiful state. And of course, these states can then get mixed and you can go through all of them within a scene. Something to know about subspace, though, is that like taking drugs, you can have a come down from it. So because you've put yourself into this state and there's a lot of different hormones and chemicals moving around your body, then you can have like a drop after. So depending on the type of subspace you're in, then you can have either an immediate drop after. So this is usually, after like a lot of pain play and the more up adrenal kind of state, then you can feel a bit exhausted after. And from the more MDMA devotional space, this can be a few days after, which tends to happen when you take MDMA. Then you have a bit of a serotonin come down after, and you can feel a little bit sad for a couple of days after. So this is something to be aware of. It doesn't always necessarily happen. And, having things like after a scene, having some chocolate and tea and lots of cuddles and a really good aftercare session can help smooth out that transition, but it's just something to be aware of. So if you do notice yourself having a come down after a scene, just know that that's totally normal, and that's to do with like the neurochemical state that's been going on. Now, Topspace is similar. I was a circus performer for a few years, and we always talk about the flow state. So the flow state is this state that you get in when you have a mix of something being challenging and a skill that you have developed mixed with muscle memory and ease. So there's this perfect kind of balance of like a challenge and something that you know very well. So then you start flowing, you're feeling this kind of confidence, this empowerment, this like, I've got this kind of energy, and mixed with, your muscle memory kicking in and you being able to do what you're good at. So we really love the flow state in flow arts, and I definitely have noticed it with shibari and through tying people. Once you've really got the hang of a lot of the knots, but then you're still doing something that's a bit challenging and you're trying to push someone to their edge and really give them this amazing experience. And you've also got the ties underway, so you're not having to have that part of your brain on trying to figure out what you're doing, because it's in your muscle memory, it's automatic. So then you're really in this state of just like flow and ease and confidence, and it just feels really empowering and amazing. So that's something that a lot of tops really like, when they can get into this amazing top space, flow space, where they feel really empowered and confident.